There's this thing called limerence, and it resonated with me because it is when you are obsessed with someone that you're not dating, you're not in love with. There's really nothing special about this person, but you can't get them off your mind. If they don't text you back, you spend the rest of the day thinking about them, stressing out about them. If they compliment you, it sends you into a skyrocket of happiness for no reason because you don't love them. You don't really like them that much.
You don't even really know them.
You don't really even know them.
So the really interesting thing here that I want you to know is that there actually is a reason. There's a very good reason that you may not be consciously aware of. You may not be able to recognize, why is it that I'm so obsessed with somebody I'm in a situationship with? Or why do I keep going back to somebody who I know isn't actually good for me? And maybe you've even gone through times where you're like, this isn't the right situation. It's causing me to feel frustrated. I'm not getting my needs met. I'm not even getting sometimes the respect or the care or kindness that I deserve. Well, I'm going to tell you why this is actually happening. And it is because of limerence, but limerence happens for a very particular reason. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory about limerence first, and we'll talk about what the major characteristics are that really define the differences between just a typical crush versus actual limerence. And then I'm going to tell you what you can do about this. If you're sick and tired of going from situationship to situationship, where you feel like you're more interested in the other person than they are in you, or where you're really pouring into something but don't feel like it's being reciprocated or you're getting your needs met, there's a way to put an end to all of this here today. So first and foremost, the term or topic of limerence was actually originally discovered by Dorothy Tenoff all the way back in 1979. And she defined limerence as being a state of mind where someone is obsessively infatuated with another person and constantly thinks about them to the point where it negatively impacts their daily life. Now, in reality here, there actually tends to be extreme highs and lows associated with limerence. And the major differences between just typical feelings or interest or infatuation with somebody versus an actual state of limerence basically include these major characteristics. Number one, the frequency of the obsession. So the amount that you'll think about somebody, if you're just like a securely attached person who is developing feelings, you may find in that particular case, as a securely attached person, you think about somebody a few times throughout the day that you have feelings for. You may text back and forth a little bit, but when somebody is in a state of limerence, they will think about them nonstop. I've had so many people in our program say that they dream about the person at night. They think about the person literally all throughout the day, every day. They have a hard time focusing on the tasks in front of them. And that really brings me to the second part and the third part, which are the intensity of the obsession and the degree of self-abandonment that takes place. And what I mean by self-abandonment is not only do you have those first two factors of like intense frequency, intense obsession and feelings around it, and those highs and lows, feeling like you're on the roller coaster, right? If somebody sends you a text that you're interested in or you have the situationship with, you may feel like you're over the moon. But if you don't hear from them, it may feel like you're falling apart. And the self abandonment being the third characteristic here means that you're so busy fixated on this person in your outside world that you're not really present in your own life. And sometimes that's a really painful thing to admit, but it's a really important thing to recognize. In fact, sometimes we even use the euphoria of limerence as a soothing mechanism. Now, the next couple of things here that go a very long way is that you'll see this impact on your daily life. And you'll generally see that the person you're in limerence with, you actually don't have much of a substantial relationship with. There can be a long lasting situationship for sure, but you'll see that there's a lack of consistency of that person even being able to meet your needs. Now, this can be because you've met somebody once and automatically felt limerence for them, or it can be because the person just is in a situationship with you, but they're not really dedicated or pouring into the relationship in the way that you're looking for. And then you'll see that it can deeply impact how you feel, your emotional state. You may even feel like they have emotional power over you in a sense, like their behaviors will have this huge and direct impact on your emotional state on a very regular basis. And then the last thing you'll see is there's generally a lack of reciprocity. When you are in limerence, and particularly if it's a situationship, you'll generally see this person doesn't know how to give back to you what you are trying to get from them or what you were putting into the relationship. So you'll see all these characteristics that really separate out the difference between just typical, feelings versus actual limerence. Now, if we take this a step further, here's what's really interesting. When we look at limerence, there's a really powerful reason that we have it. Okay. If you are seeing yourself in a situation and you're like, why am I still going back to this person? I'm going to tell you exactly why this is. And I want you to see what you can find out about you in this particular situation as I share this. Now, the powerful reason you're in limerence is because that person represents your deeply unmet needs. And because you have deeply unmet needs, and maybe because of one or two interactions with this person or a situationship with this person, you project this fantasy realm with that person. And in that fantasy realm, you can often imagine that they meet your needs. Now, here's something you want to understand about the mind. And I'll unpack like a story here that you'll see in terms of a client I had once who was in limerence. Um, when you see yourself in the fantasy realm, whatever you're fantasizing about with this object of limerence, the person you're in limerence with, you'll see it's not random. All of the fantasies you have actually represent your deeply unmet needs. For example, if you're in your world of limerence and you're fantasizing about they're going to see how special you are, right? Sometimes that's an unmet need of feeling special or prioritized or important. If you are seeing in the fantasy world, you're imagining that they're so present with you and they really get to know you and they're really there for you. Those may be unmet needs of feeling like somebody can be emotionally available to you. Those may be unmet needs of feeling like somebody really cares about you or supports you. And funnily enough, these unmet needs often filter all the way back to childhood. Now, I'll tell you this story really quick, and then we'll talk about what you can do. And I'll tell you some other popular needs of limerence so that you can see which ones yours really are. But I had a client once, and she almost called off her marriage because she met somebody in a coffee shop who like was really present with her for just a few moments. Like, it was like she spilled her coffee. This person kind of dropped everything, helped clean it up, checked in to make sure she was okay because they could tell she was kind of frazzled, sat with her, asked her some personal questions, was really like emotionally like intimate, like was really just paying attention to her. And for her, she grew up in a household where that was not a need she had met from either of her parents. And it was something that although she had so many great things about the person she was about to marry, she also felt like he wasn't super um available the way she was hoping for or looking for. And so there came this time where, she really wanted this deep connection, but just wasn't really feeling like she was getting it in the way she was hoping. And thus, when somebody came along and they represented that deeply unmet need just for a moment in a coffee shop and like helped her and was present and asked her some personal questions and really listened, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to call off my wedding." Now, what ended up happening is that she had to convey to her future spouse, like, "Hey, I really need more presence in our relationship. I need you to be a little more attuned and to listen more." And they worked on that, and he really showed up for that, and he was fairly secure overall. So he just made an effort to be more present and to do more of that, and that really helped the relationship move ahead. But she had such a rich fantasy world with this person that started happening so immediately because this person represented her deeply unmet needs. So the most common ones I'll see, and I'm curious if you can find out what yours are. If you find yourself obsessed with somebody or you're like in a situationship, to not go back to this person, but you keep doing it. Generally, the most common unmet needs are some of the ones I mentioned. Somebody makes you feel special, wanted, prioritized, important. Sometimes people can make you feel like they are protective over you. They have your back, they're loyal, they'll stand up for you. Sometimes it's feeling really deeply seen or known or having somebody be attuned or present. And other popular limerence needs are that somebody makes you feel like you really matter in particular cases and also can go really deep with you. So can have a deep conversation with you. Some other ones you'll see too are like somebody to explore with, travel with. There's like that kind of connection there, but those are usually you're actually building more reciprocity in the relationship at that point. So we start getting into like, relationship building at that point as well. So, what do you do about this? If you're in a position where you feel like you're obsessed with somebody, what do you do about the needs? Well, I'm going to tell you something you can check out fully for free, but I'm going to give you an exercise still here in this video. You can check out fully for free. Of course, I have all about limerence, and it actually breaks down like these specific needs, helps you select what needs are being met by your object of limerence or your situationship, and then helps you come up with really good strategies to meet these needs in the relationship to yourself and also to ask for them in relationships with others. And that's really what you want to do. And I'll put a link to that down below. It's fully for free if you want to check it out just for a limited time. But if you want to be in a position where you overcome limerence, what you actually have to be able to do is sit down and find exactly those needs. That's why I shared them with you in this video, because those are some of the most common ones. There can be other ones, of course. And then sit down and be like, okay, where, how much, you can even score them. How much am I meeting these needs in the relationship to myself? Or how much are these needs met in general in my life? And generally, you're going to see the things that you're in limerence about, because it's less so the person and often much more so the needs, but your mind's just connected them to a person. What you're going to see is that you are in limerence because you're starving for these things and they're not being met by your friends, your family. They weren't met in your childhood. They're not being met enough by other romantic partners or situations. So somebody represents a little bit of this at one point in time, and we're like, wow, we get addicted. And so what you have to be able to do is build healthy strategies to meet those needs in the relationship to yourself, and to do this consistently enough where you learn to receive, because generally we have like about a 21-day threshold where if we are trying to meet our own needs, it won't feel great for the first 21 days, because it takes about 21 days for your subconscious mind to build what we call a zone of familiarity. And it's only once we have that familiar zone where our subconscious mind is like, oh, this is familiar and thus it's safe, that then it's almost like our mind gives us permission to receive from ourselves and it feels good. But of course, we also want to be able to ask for these needs in multiple areas of our lives. Once you've defined what those needs are, how do I meet them with friends? How do I meet them with family members? How do I ask for these things and have these conversations? Now, that course will outline that in a tremendous amount of detail if you want to check it out. Again, it's free for a limited time. If you're interested in helping make a huge impact on other people's lives while also building financial freedom, I'm offering an early bird 50% discount on our integrated attachment theory relationship certification program that will help you become a certified integrated attachment theory relationship coach and build your own thriving practice by the end of 12 weeks. This 12-week on-demand program will help you kickstart your new career by teaching you revolutionary tools and strategies that help clients transform their lives and relationships, build your own coaching practice, and set yourself up for a waitlist of clients and financial success. Even if you have no coaching experience, this program will give you very in-depth tools, resources, and confidence to get started in a matter of weeks. And you can learn more information by clicking the link down below. But I hope this video gave you some context today and some insight into why you're in a situationship, why you find yourself in these types of positions with different individuals, and exactly what it actually means, and how you can kick that habit or that person, if it's not working, to the curb once and for all. I say that respectfully. No actual kicking anybody to the curb, but you know what I mean? Like, remove yourself from a situation if it's not actually healthy or working for you. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for stopping by and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss any future videos. I put a video out here every single day. And yeah, I hope you hang around here, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.